are not those of WHNZ AM, its staff, management, or parent company, Clear Channel Communications Incorporated.
Welcome to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ, offering support for those who care for a loved one. A show that cares about you and supports and encourages you, the caregiver. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
It is Monday morning, and my grandchildren it's first day of summer for them, and the house has been very active and noisy and very excitable. So it's been a great day and a way to start my day. Hope your day is also going well. This is the Caregiver Hour radio show, and the show is here for you 24/7 to help you create balance in your life, to have all that information, resources, and guidance. But yet somehow, some way, we also want you to have time for yourself, energy for yourself, and to be able to rejuvenate your spirit. So it's all about the mind, body, spirit connection and how to create that balance for yourself. Because if you're in good shape, you're going to be so much better at your caregiving role. And we've got Linda Burhans, who is a caregiver advocate extraordinaire from Harmony Home Health, who runs so many support groups, and you will hear from her how her caregivers are doing in her support group, but especially male caregivers. And that's why she had said there was such a need for men to have just their own support group that she created that. And she's a visionary for that and also a great leader. So today, in honor of men, are great caregivers too, because the statistics show that women certainly are a big proportion of the caregivers, but we want to honor men today and talk about them and their role and how caregiving affects them. So our guest is really someone from Linda's support group. His name is Buzz Rabatin, and he is caregiving. He's a family caregiver, so we're going to talk a little more about that. And then we also have Dr. Kelly Miller, who's at Miller Clinic for Optimal Health, and I actually had my own appointment with him, and we're going to talk a little about that on the show. But really, we want to emphasize men's health today and well-being. So if you are interested, you can do iChat with us right now, live. You can go to our website, thecaregiverhour.com, and look at the web. And we are live, and you can see us and see all of our guests, and it's just terrific. And also see our commercials and hear our sponsors. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is we have a helpline, and this helpline is a go-to place for you as a caregiver. I don't care if you live in Australia, if you live in London, if you live in California, or right here in Florida. This caregiver is available for you 24/7. That toll-free number is 1-877-552-4950. And all types of caregivers call me about the stress that's happening between the family. Maybe there's a family rift, or maybe there's just some confusion about what's mom's next step. Or how do I get dad to do something? How do I get my husband to do something? And we talk about maybe not forcing them, but inviting them to do something, or letting the process happen more naturally, or getting the support from the family. Because if everyone's in alignment, that family member is going to listen to that in a very powerful way. And so there's a lot of different ways for us to support the caregiver as they are taking care of their loved one. And being a family caregiver myself, I know how important it is to have all of that support, including having an advocate, a healthcare advocate, who is an expert in your overall optimal health. That is really what helped me move forward in creating my own balance. And we're so thrilled to be able to have Dr. Kelly Miller to help us with that today as well. So I want to jump into the show. If you have any calls or questions for us or comments, you can call us right now while the show is live. It's toll free at 1-877-897-8255. Again, 877-897-8255. Maybe you're a male caregiver or a female caregiver who wants to talk about a male caregiver that she knows and wants to help that family as well. So let's just bring on Linda Burhans. So Linda, welcome to the radio show.
Morning, Kim.
Good morning. How are you?
Joyful and grateful as always.
As always. And I have your angel little statues that you've given me. I have the beautiful cards that you sent me. I know you also sent one to my assistant, Joe, that just touched her so deeply. She brought it into my office, and she's like, look what Linda sent to me. And I said, I know, Linda has that personal touch. She's always thinking of all of us, so we're very grateful. When we talked about male caregiving, and you have a support groups, tell us a little more about that, Linda.
Well, I've been doing support groups for quite a while, and I would find there was like one male in each group. And one of the guys finally said to me, Linda, do you think we could just do a group for men? Because men have some different kind of issues. So we have a group that's called Caregiver Clubhouse, and it's just for men, and it's an entirely different twist. Most of the people that are in that support group, the men that are in the support group, their wives are in Alzheimer's.
Okay.
Or end stages Alzheimer's. So their wives are in a facility, or I think one of them is at home. But their biggest thing is they've been married 60 years. They don't know how to do anything on their own. All during the day, they'll be taking care of their wife, and then at night, they're just really lonely.
Okay.
Really lonely.
Yeah, we should talk about that loneliness. So, Linda, you're from Harmony Home Health.
Yes.
And so you are their caregiver advocate, and you do these support groups. How many support groups altogether do you do?
About 15 a month.
Okay. So that's tremendous. And I know you're also bridging over to Hillsborough County.
Yes.
So do you have a new one happening there?
We'll be starting a new one probably next month at Adam's house,
That's great.
which is wonderful. And I'm also starting a new one next month at the Fountains of Boca Ciega Bay.
Terrific, down in St. Pete,
Pasadena.
in Pasadena area. So I just kind of illustrate some of the magic that happens with the connections that people make. We had a on the location radio show pre-record at Memorial Hospital in Tampa,
Right.
and that's where you were able to meet up with Adam's
Yeah, it was
house,
great.
and it was great. Okay,
Yeah.
good. This is the magic that I like.
Yeah.
I like that because now it's creating abundance for everybody and helping so many caregivers. So, do you want to introduce Buzz?
Yes, this is one of my caregiver groupies. I call them Buzz because he seems to come to a lot of things that I go to and a lot of seminars that I suggest that he attends. And I think it's wonderful because he's really getting an education. So I'm going to pass the mic over to him.
Okay. So, Buzz, welcome to the Caregiver Hour.
Glad to be here.
Well, thank you. So, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I became a caregiver when my family member, who's a sibling, she'll always be older than I am, I'm younger than her, had a hip transplant and it didn't work. We had to get that resurgerized. And then also, she said, I have cancer. So we had to go through all that process, all the chemotherapy and all the appointments and all what were involved with that and all the details. And it's very time consuming. And I kind of backed into this caregiver role sideways, not really realizing what a big, tremendous job it is to help somebody go through this stuff. I said to her, I'll give you my life if I need to help you through this. And I looked her right in the eye and said that. And she listened to me. And she said, okay, I'll take it. And she did. And it helped her get through all the difficult stuff.
So, how long have you belonged to Linda's support group?
About 6 months or a year, something like that.
And how has that helped you?
Well, I will say one thing. I've realized that there are other caregivers who go through similar situations. And, it's interesting to find out that there always are answers. One of the biggest challenges I think a caregiver faces is to keep a balanced perspective. I learned that right away when I went to Linda's group. That's so important. If I could just say one thing, it would be, everybody listening, please work on a balanced perspective for yourself. So if I run out of gas and I get depressed and I can't do anything for myself, I sure as Dickens aren't going to be able to do anything for anybody else. So it's really important to keep a balanced perspective.
Buzz, that is perfect. And we're going to have a break, and then we're going to come back and have more of a conversation with you and Linda and go in a little more detail of how many male caregivers there are here in the United States, and also maybe some tips. That's a great statement that you just said, and it's so great when it comes from the caregiver, not just from the caregiver advocate or the radio talk show host, but also from a caregiver, and that's why we're so thrilled to have you here today. So we want you to stay with us because we have so much more information for you. And this show is about creating balance, and it was so great that Buzz came together with that statement himself, because this is a lesson he's learned. Obviously, that's a lesson I've learned, and that's why I do all that I do for caregivers. But I think that we want to know things about maybe what are his biggest challenges. and what advice would he give other male caregivers? And then we have Dr. Miller on later today, and I am so excited because we're going to be talking about some real good information about, do men go through changes like women do in menopause? And the answer is yes, but what is that? And how can we help them create the balance and have the information so that maybe they have minimal side effects to that menopause that they go through? Because I know as a woman, we go through a lot. So it'll be really interesting to hear what men go through. So again, we want you to stay with us. And I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ.
Caregiving can be an overwhelming and stressful experience. Aston Gardens, Tampa Bay's premier senior living community, is excited to be able to support those who care for others. Please join them the third Thursdays of the month at 5:30 p.m. to learn creative problem-solving techniques and caregiving ideas from others who have been in your shoes. Aston Gardens specializes in independent living, assisted living, and memory care. Chosen for the third year in a row by the U.S. Commerce Association for the Best of Tampa Bay Award in residential care. Call 813-855-2811 or visit AstonGardens.com for more info. You may have a loved one or know someone who suffers with depression, anxiety, grief due to loss, or other mental health concerns. Perhaps they struggle with substance abuse, an addiction, or have a co-occurring condition. There is help. The choice is yours. North Tampa Behavioral Health offers a peaceful therapeutic setting for effective treatment towards recovery. Choose North Tampa Behavioral Health so your loved one can start living again. Call 813-922-3300. St. Joseph's John Knox Village of Tampa Bay, Tampa's premier retirement community, is part of the Baycare Health System. John Knox Village is known for its successful aging lifestyle, along with spacious apartments. John Knox Village offers a wide range of activities to fill one's life spiritually, physically, mentally, educationally, and nutritionally. In addition, every level of care is available to meet the needs of the aging population. John Knox Village, comfortable, casual, and secure for life. To schedule a tour, call 1-800-272-5669.
Caregiving has gotten harder and more complicated, even as families have more and more demands on their time. That's why AARP is here to help caregivers with the tools, information, and support they need to care for their loved ones and themselves. Check out aarp.org/caregiving to connect with other caregivers like yourself and find the resources you need. Visit the AARP Caregiver Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Caregivers, are you worried about mom or dad needing more care? How do you know when it's time to get help? Since 2004, Harmony Home Health has helped seniors in Tampa Bay find joy in their journey. You'd be amazed at how just a little bit of care can go a very long way. From just once in a while to every day of the week, your loved ones experience independence, safety, and dignity wherever they call home, and your whole family experiences harmony. With Harmony Home Health, you are not alone. You can trust their family to take care of yours. Call 727-723-7532 or visit their website at harmonyhh.com/Kim.
The Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ. It's about taking care of yourself while you take care of others. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Caregiver Hour radio show. We know women are great caregivers. We just know it in our hearts and our souls and our spirits. But you know, men are great caregivers too, and they are being thrusted into a role that maybe they've been never comfortable with, caregiving, or never familiar with, and they just don't know. And there has to be so many challenges for them emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. And we're really here today to talk about some of those challenges, but also to honor men who step into that role. And I'm just a really, I don't normally read on the show, but there is a great website that I went to just to get some statistics, and that's the Family Caregiver Alliance. And that website is caregiver.org. And they do have some statistics just so that you know that there are male caregivers and what do they do. There are male caregivers. There are, let me just get that right number for you, 14.5 million caregivers, male caregivers are out there caregiving for an older family member. And then what's also happening is that male caregivers are less likely to do the personal care. And we're going to talk to Buzz about that too, because we want to get his feedback about that. Like, at what part is he comfortable with, and what part would he maybe bring in some personal care to help with taking care of his sister. And then also you've got the idea that sometimes what they help with male caregivers is they help with paid assistance, bringing in some care. So there's different ways to participate as a male caregiver. Maybe you're helping with the financial, maybe you're helping with the medical, maybe you're just helping with activities, taking someone out to lunch to help break the rhythm of all the burden on just one caregiver. Maybe there's a family that's caregiving for a loved one, and the family alternates the care, and the male caregiver gets to pick and choose maybe what is the easiest and best for them. So again, we have Linda Burhans here, a caregiver advocate with Harmony Home Health. And Linda, just tell us a little about Harmony.
Harmony Home Health helps us find the joy in the journey so that people can stay home and be respected and be comfortable enough to be able to live comfortably at home. So we can help with a lot of the things that the male caregivers need help with, especially with bathing, with meal preparation, with housekeeping, with transportation, with companionship sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the male caregivers is they're thrown into a whole new arena because they never did the food shopping. They never did that kind of work.
Or if they did, maybe it was on a smaller scale.
Well,
now it's
the one
on a bigger
caregiver used
scale.
to bring his wife to the support group before she became advanced, and he would say to me, "Do her clothes match today?"
Oh, so he wasn't sure.
Yeah,
right.
is that a good haircut?
Yeah.
I took her to get a haircut. Does that
Aw.
look good?
Well, that's good. He's even asking, and he knows where to go to ask in your support group. At least he's got a resource.
But you don't think about that.
No, because one of the things you said, and if you just tuned in, you tuned into a great show, because this is about men are great caregivers too, and we're talking to a male caregiver, but also we're talking really in general about how to help male caregivers and what they're comfortable with. So, Linda, kind of bring us to what you were talking about, an end to that, so that we can bring Buzz on again.
Well, I think the most important thing for the male caregivers is to know it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Whatever you don't understand, it's
Right.
okay. We can figure it out. You can get help.
Yeah.
I had a gentleman come into one group one time, and he just cried the entire time, and he said, "I can't bathe my mom."
Okay. I just realized we need to send people to our website, thecaregiverhour.com. There are links all over the place for Harmony Home Health, because you need to see the listing of the support groups that you have there.
And if I can just mention, the male support group is the third Friday of each month at the Harmony office at 2:00. So
Okay.
please come.
And if you have any questions for us, our toll-free number is 1-877-897-8255. You can call us right now, and you can ask us questions, or you certainly can do an iChat on our live web stream. So, Buzz, are you enjoying your visit here at the Caregiver Hour?
It's awesome.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. So tell us a little more about, this isn't your wife, this is your sister, so I'm sure the care has been interesting, how it's unraveled for you.
Well, I've learned a whole lot about being a caregiver. It's really important to not be swallowed up in all the details and all the work that's required. I find that being able to write your feelings down in a journal has been a very helpful experience for me, and I would recommend that to anybody. I just use spiral notebooks, the cheap kind.
Right.
And I just, can tear them up and throw them away if I want to, but that gives me an outlet, a way to express my frustrations and so on, so that when I'm with the person I'm caring for, I can really be 100% there for that person. A recent study done by University of Pittsburgh, I'm from Pittsburgh, said that 64% of the caregivers have a medical incident before the person being cared for has a medical incident. So I heard that statistic, and I thought, I'm from Pittsburgh, but it affects me too.
Yes.
So I really thought, I really have to take care of myself, underlining the importance of taking care of yourself, playing golf or whatever it is you do for fun. It's important.
So let's talk about some things that you do. So you journal.
Right.
You have an awareness now that it's important to take care of yourself. So what else do you do?
I exercise every day.
What kind of exercise are you doing?
Well, I lift weights, and I do a stretching exercise before I get out of bed.
Okay.
I'm past 50, so I do a little stretching.
I
before
understand.
You get out of bed. And then after that, I do some stretching exercises. Then I walk a mile a day.
Okay.
So it's very helpful, because that gets the serotonin going in your blood system. It's very
Right,
helpful.
your
I find that-
circulation.
Yeah, that's very good for me.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of reading, too, and I attend a lot of groups. So
Okay.
I look around for resources and see, could this help me? And then the thing is, you see a lot of other people in the caregiver groups, and you recognize, oh, they could use this group. And you call them up if you have their number, or you can link up with them and say, hey, you could do this. Or how about, have you thought about that? And so on. So there's a lot of things going on there. They say men don't ask for directions, but that's not true. At least the modern men don't, anyhow.
All right, and you're a modern man, obviously.
Yeah, the contemporary guys are not afraid to ask for help, and that's really important. I don't do bathing for my caregiver, my person I'm taking care of, so I find somebody else to do that so I can be free to do something else. I shop for a while, so I don't mind shopping. In fact, I kind of like it.
Okay.
Publix is always very chilly, so take a sweater. But anyhow, I really enjoy that.
How about at the end when you're checking out, someone asks you if you wanted to help them take your bags to your car? What do you say, Buzz?
I got it.
I got it.
This is mine.
But just in case there is a caregiver who's tired out there, if someone is offering to help you, the answer is yes. Thank you so much.
It's really important to write down once in a while the things you need help on. So if someone asks you, you can be ready and seize on the opportunity. Carpe diem is a Latin phrase, We want to get the help that's available to us. And so many people are afraid to ask or they don't know. But if you use the websites that they're talking about here, go to Harmony or go to the website on the channel, then you'll find a lot of people that will be able to help you and lift you up and help you get through this experience. Really important to be able to ask for help and ask for directions.
Right. It sounds like you have passed the Linda Burhans test with a high rating. So, Linda, we have 2 minutes. Why don't you close us out in this segment with maybe some words of wisdom for our listeners?
I think one of the most things I can say for the male caregiver is find another guy that's in the same position as you.
Yeah.
Because then you have someone to talk to that can get it. Some of the guys in my group go fishing together now. Some of them go golfing together. Just find somebody that you can talk to. It doesn't have to be to a whole group, and especially if it's someone that's in the same position as you.
Right.
Because they can understand better than anybody else. And the other thing is, gentlemen, get an education. Because if you get an education with what you're going through, it definitely will make your journey a lot nicer.
Mm-hmm. And you said they suffer from aloneness, and we're trying to help with that isolation, minimize that for them.
A lot of the guys in the group, they've been married 60 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big change for them.
Yes. So I want to thank you and Buzz for being here today, and we will have you come back at the end of the hour and we'll chit-chat a little more because we have so much more to talk about. But one of the things I do want to say is St. Joseph's John Knox Village of Tampa Bay is they're Tampa experts in aging and senior housing, and I visited there recently and had a tour, and I met some amazing residents and who love their lifestyle there, who feel that it's very enriched because they live at John Knox Village and they're getting so much care. It's a very active community. We want you to stay tuned because we've got Dr. Kelly Miller here, and he's going to help male caregivers and so many men that are our listeners. So stay tuned. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ.
Welcome to Air Ambulance Worldwide, a leader in the medical transfer industry. If you need to move a loved one anywhere in the world, we can help. You can reach our knowledgeable flight coordinators 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From the moment we receive your call, we'll plan and oversee every step of your patient's transfer, including ground ambulance in the departure and arrival city, private aircraft, and a personalized team of medical staff to travel alongside your patient until they arrive safely at their final destination. All members of our medical staff have at least 5 years of ICU and CCU experience.
Patient care and safety is always the number one concern at Air Ambulance Worldwide. Our customer service is exceptional. Our affiliate, Air Gato Enterprises, manages our aircraft. Air Gato is an Argus Gold safety-rated company. Air Ambulance Worldwide is URAMI accredited. That accreditation says that both our medical protocols and our safety record in aviation is exceptional.
Air Ambulance Worldwide's flagship aircraft is the extraordinary Piaggio P180, which provides the very best cabin environment available for your patient's care. The interior is 50% larger than a Learjet 35, so there is ample room to work closely with the patient. With a stand-up cabin, it can carry 3 passengers, 3 large suitcases, a wheelchair, and has an enclosed laboratory. As a company, we understand the sensitive nature of this time. We work hard to take away as much of that burden as we can, so our clients can focus on their loved ones' needs. For example, if they have private insurance, we'll confirm benefits, submit, and track the claim to closure. If you need to get a loved one across the state or around the world, Air Ambulance Worldwide has the experience to complete the mission safely. All of this with the finest aircraft and medical teams in the industry, you can rest assured you are in trusted hands. Call us today, toll free at 877-922-9675 or direct at 727-781-1198.
Catania, putting families first.
In a crash, act fast.
Motorcycle accident? Call Catania and Catania today. 1-800-253-5523 or visit CataniaandCatania.com. Catania and Catania, your injury law attorneys, serving the Tampa Bay area for over 20 years. Non-attorney spokesperson, Offices Tampa.
From the Bright House Network's traffic center on the Hillsborough Avenue, had a couple of accidents. One west of the Hillsborough River at Lee Place, and the other one off to the side near the northbound Veterans Expressway entrance. Watch for debris in the center lane eastbound on the Polk Parkway at Tampa Highway. In Pinellas County, there's a disabled vehicle on 34th Street at 54th Avenue North. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Udrick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line at 866-545-9595.
1250 winds, weather center forecast. Upper 80s and low 90s today. Lots of humidity as well. 30% chance of some rain. That'll pick up inland and in the mid to later portion of the day. That's when those showers and possible storms will roll in. And lows mild tonight in the upper 70s. Upper 80s tomorrow, another 30% chance of rain. 60% by Wednesday, a little bit cooler in the mid 80s. Wednesday, Thursday, and then back in the upper 80s Friday. 40% chance of rain Friday and through the weekend. Wall Street today, Dow's up 33, Nasdaq gaining 19, S&P Index positive 4, Dow to 16,957.
It's the Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ with encouragement, guidance, and support for caregivers. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Caregiver Hour radio show. Today we're talking about men are great caregivers too, and they are, but they go through a lot of strain, and we are trying our best to keep them optimally healthy in their mind, body, and spirit. And so we just had Linda Burhans here from Harmony Home Health on our show, as well as one of her caregivers, male caregivers from her support group named Buzz, who's just great. And they're going to be back on the end of the show. So if you have any questions, our toll-free number is 1-877-897-8255. But if you're a caregiver who's stressed out, maybe you're a male caregiver and you're stressed out, and you don't know where to turn, you certainly can come to our website. We've got a lot of information and resources and support groups, but we also have a helpline for you, just designed to help you. And as the caregiver coach, I'll be happy to connect you with the best resources. That's why I have Kim's preferred list on my website. I have it there for a reason, because I've checked out all these resources for you. And our website is thecaregiverhour.com. And you can call that helpline toll-free at 1-877-552-4950, or even on our website, there's a tab on there that says helpline, and it can connect you directly to me or to our resources. I have Dr. Kelly Miller here, a Miller Clinic for Optimal Health. And Dr. Miller, it's great to have you back on the radio with me.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Thanks. So we had our appointment, I'll say over a week ago, on a rainy afternoon. Remember how it poured rain?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get out of the office for
I
a while.
couldn't. I had to hang out for a while, but it was nice. It was a nice break for me. But one of the reasons, I went to you for quite a few reasons, but one of them was that I'm not able to lose weight, and I'm exercising rigorously. I am on now I won't say totally non-gluten diet, because that wouldn't be totally the truth, but I would say minimized greatly my gluten intake. And still, I've lost the inches, but not the weight. And people say, well, muscle turns into leaner body weight, but I just don't think it's right. There's something that's not happening. And on an earlier show, you had talked about some genetic testing. So let's talk a little about that, because I could have one of my listeners here or several of my listeners saying, I want to know more about that. So Can you tell us?
Yeah, I think generally, as we looked at in the aging population, as we went, I think the three things I'll try to speak about your visit a little bit, kind of three different areas we're looking at because of some of the changes occurring more at a certain time of life,
right,
that go along with menopausal. So we're looking at potential hormonal issues, particularly low adrenal function, low thyroid function, also loss of estrogen and progesterone will also contribute to putting on more weight around the midsection. And then the other things can be, when you talk about genetic testing, what genetic testing is really good about, it'll tell you what proportion of foods you need to eat. So for some people, a low-fat diet may be okay, and other people, it's not okay. Right. And some people need less carbohydrate than others, so it will fine-tune that. And more specifically, it'll also tell you, like, I have a genetic variant where I have to exercise a lot, and I didn't know that because I always did all my life until I was 39. I played active sports. I played college basketball. I played rugby till I was 39 years old, and then I quit, and I was about 180s, 85, 189 in that range, and then I didn't do as much, and then I was up to 215 plus. So I started, when I turned 50, I got a personal trainer and started doing all that. Didn't really realize it. Then the weight came kind of creeping back up again. So for me, I just now know I've got to exercise. I've got to huff and puff, and I've got to sweat, and I've got to do that. So for me, I can run still on the treadmill. I'm okay. But other patients, we have to find another way because maybe their hips or their knees or ankles, they have a foot problem. So we have to figure out another way that they can get that exercise.
So I do want to say that if you have, because people have called in to speak to Dr. Kelly Miller with what's going on for them, and we want to feel that you can do that again today. The toll-free number is 1-877-897-8255. So let's jump over to men and men's health. Tell us generally how should they be taking care of themselves?
Well, I have a vested interest in this.
Yes, you do. Because, it's all about you, Dr. Miller.
I'm going to be turning 59 in a few months. So,
well, congratulations.
And so I'm 59 years old. And my goal is I really want to be 100 or more and be able to still see patients. So, I have to develop a strategy now.
Yes.
So it's good to try to develop a strategy early. Don't wait till you're 80. It's good if you're 80. If you're still around at 80, that means you're doing better than the average bear. So, but men have... as we talked about earlier, men go through something called andropause, and it's very real. Even some men have hot flashes and night sweats, as women do. But there's a change in the hormone, and men's hormone, the primary hormone in men is testosterone, but women also have testosterone. It's one of the things that give us a woman confidence as well. But after 25, in our body, we're going to lose about 20% of our testosterone levels every 10 years. So when the average man in this country is 50 years old and he puts on an extra 20 pounds, he's just doubled his cardiovascular risk.
Okay.
So one of the things that testosterone does, we think of erectile dysfunction and sexual performance, but one of the things it does is it gives protection to the cardiovascular system, as women's estrogen and progesterone does to them. But the testosterone will actually reduce cardiovascular risk.
Okay, so we were just talking about Buzz. Buzz was on the show as a male caregiver. How do we help the male caregiver who's going through that extra stress in their life?
Exactly. So Buzz mentioned a couple of things that he does, and which is very good. And a couple of things he was doing some weightlifting, which is very important because we need to maintain our muscle mass. And that's one of the things as our testosterone and DHEA levels do, we have more difficulty. But the sheer fact that you work these muscles and stress them will also help the muscle mass and the bone density. Men can have a problem with bone density. It usually occurs much later in life than women's.
Right.
And the other thing is he's doing walking, and he mentioned that it helped his serotonin levels. But the other thing he was doing, he was probably walking outside in the sunshine. And the sunshine is actually is how we stimulate our serotonin in our brain through sunlight. Because we need an hour a day, and also stimulates our melatonin at night, which helps us sleep better. So again, going back to 6 essentials, with that, what you eat, what you drink, how you rest, how you exercise, what you breathe, and what you think. And he touched on handling the stress because the journaling helped him do that. So just the fact that he's getting out in nature and the sunshine is helping reduce his stress. The weightlifting is helping. The walking's doing. So he's doing a lot of positive things.
Yeah, he looks good. His skin looks good. His attitude looks good. I think he's doing really well. You could see it in his eyes. You see a lot from people's eyes and skin.
Yeah, well, Buzz and we have something in common, but I suspect Buzz is like I am as a lifelong learner. So
yes.
So part of his passion about life is he likes to learn things. He likes to
read, he said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about your business, because I know you have a passion for it. And I loved visiting your office. So let's talk more about that.
Well, yes. What I've done is lost my voice here.
Can you hear yourself?
There we go.
Okay.
So, my background is varied. I've been a chiropractor since 1980. I became certified in acupuncture in 1996. I became a naturopathic certification, had my certification as a naturopathic physician in 2001. And I have just recently finished a fellowship from Brazil in aging regenerative medicine, and then my thesis was in heart health. So basically what that's about is, and what I do more now is I use my background in helping people functional aging, and the biggest 3 challenges I think men or women have, or as we age, is the 3 things that concern us most. Are we going to be able to maintain our independence and be ambulatory? Are we going to be able to go do things for ourselves, go out socially, go to the movie, the show, just different things? 2, which I have a comment on that with, one of the things is it's important at whatever age we have playmates. If you're a kid, you need playmates. You need a playmate at and one of the things that I really encourage everybody to do is go out and find some playmates that are 10, 15, and 20 years younger than you are.
Okay.
Because I have people I socialize with in their 70s. I have people I socialize in their 30s. So, if I'm going to be 100, I got to, there's going to be somebody to hang around with. I don't know if all my peers are going to be here at 100.
Right. So you need some playmates that are younger than you that can be there to support you. That's a great idea. Oh, Buzz likes that too. Yeah. Oh, he's looking for a particular one though.
And so the other thing we're concerned about is our thinking. We would like to know, be able to remember our own name, how to get home, how to get back from the market,
right,
and also
who your playmates are.
Yeah, got to remember that phone number, how to find your playmates. And the third thing is we want to, most of us would like to look reasonable well as we age. We want to be 80, but we don't look like an average 80-year-old. And we want to,
have some vanity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those are the 3 things that we focus on. So I do a lot of work in reducing cardiovascular risk, which involves hormone, cancer risk. One of the things that happens with men for prostate, women are concerned about breast cancer, ovarian uterus cancer, and men are concerned about prostate cancer. And really the thing that prostate cancer stem from is the drop in the testosterone as they age and the increased estrogen. So what happens to us men is we start producing our testosterone into estrogen.
Well, we're going to talk about that more right after our break, so stay with us. I'm Kim Linder. You're listening to the Caregiver Hour on 1250 WINS WHNZ.
Dr. Kelly Miller of Miller Clinic for Optimal Health is a chiropractic and naturopathic physician with a certification in acupuncture and aging and regenerative medicine. Dr. Miller integrates the healing arts of chiropractic, acupuncture, and naturopathy with the latest international information on functional aging. Dr. Miller's unique knowledge and skill set allows him to help his patients to keep moving well, keep thinking well, and keep looking their best. Miller Clinic for Optimal Health, 813-774-3744 or drkellymiller.com.
I'm Mike Lavoie with Beacon Asset Management. While 30 years of experience in financial services may have prepared me to be a certified financial planner, no amount of planning could have prepared me for the stress of being a caregiver. The financial planning my dad and I did when my mother became ill made caring for her bearable. At Beacon, we are committed to helping you take care of your financial needs so you can take care of your loved ones. Give us a call at 813-269-0732. 813-269-0732.
Your home is where you feel relaxed, safe, and secure. Arcadia Home Care understands that you want to maintain that freedom and independence, even though you may be recuperating from an injury, illness, or simply require a little support with daily activities of living. You create a plan for your life as you envision it, and you can rest assured Arcadia will provide companionship, personal care, housekeeping, shopping and errands, or whatever you need. They deliver their services with compassion, dependability, and professionalism. Their caregivers are screened, bonded, and insured, and must meet rigorous hiring standards, so you are confident you're receiving the best care possible for you or your loved one. Visit ArcadiaHomeCare.com or call St. Petersburg at 727-579-9414 to schedule your free in-home assessment and learn how Arcadia can enhance your quality of life while helping you stay at home and healthier longer. Call Arcadia Home Care, 727-579-9414, providing quality services since 1978.
Caregivers now have some help with adult care and respite in St. Petersburg. A comprehensive 6-day-a-week adult day program developed to offer outstanding care and respite to senior adults and their caregivers. Adult Care and Respite offers a variety of personalized health and social programs, as well as support groups. For more information, call 727-329-8744 or visit adultcareandrespite.com. 727-329-8744.
Hi, it's Kim Linder from the Caregiver Hour. I want to tell you about an attorney in Clearwater that I have known for over 7 years. His name is Bill Rambam, and I have referred many families to him for his legal expertise. Bill is one of less than 100 attorneys to be evaluated by the Florida Bar and become certified as a specialist in elder law. His 30 years of experience and impeccable credentials make him one of the most highly regarded legal experts in our area. Give Bill a call today at 727-781-5357 or visit rambomlaw.com. Non-attorney spokesperson.
Gulfside Hospice and Pasco Palliative Care provides individualized, compassionate, and comfort care to those living with chronic or life-limiting illness. Caring for Pasco County residents exclusively for 25 years, Gulfside Hospice and Pasco Palliative Care's goal is to make every day count for their patients and loved ones. To find out how they can help, call today at 800-561-4883 or visit online at ghppc.org.
The Caregiver Hour on 1250 Wins WHNZ. It's about taking care of yourself while you take care of others. Here's your host, Kim Linder.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Caregiver Hour radio show. We've been having a great conversation about male caregivers and how important it is that they take care of themselves, but also how they are now becoming a large percentage of caregivers in our world, not just our country, but in our world. There's 14.5 million of them, and we need to take care of them and teach them how to create their own balance. And we've been very fortunate to have Buzz, who is a male caregiver for his sister, give us some words of wisdom. So, Buzz, why don't you bring us home on the Circling Back to the Caregiver Hour segment?
I was thinking about this over the break, and I would want to say it's really important to get in support groups and to get your needs met in an appropriate way. I know I went to one, happened to be Linda Burhans directing it. There were 9 different situations in the group, and she listened carefully to each one and gave 9 different resource solutions and was very supportive to help the people move ahead to the next step. And that's very important to be able to realize people are out there, they want to help you, you know. And also there's a book called Good Night and God Bless. Linda wrote that, and it's a very helpful book, and that's very important. But the final thing I want to say is, for most people, caregiving is a marathon, not a sprint. So you have to think about the long haul and how am I going to take care of myself in order that I may also care for my loved one. It's very important. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay. So if anyone has any questions for our guest today, you can still call us toll-free at 1-877-897-8255. Buzz, that's just really terrific. Thank you so much for doing that for us and all of our male caregivers today. Linda, why don't you tell us, a little more
information about male caregiver support group and maybe some of the challenges that are faced there?
I think the hardest part is, as I said before, is the loneliness for the male caregiver, and then feeling very vulnerable. It's really tough for a guy to feel really vulnerable, and when they come into the support group, it's just, you can see that their whole demeanor just kind of slows down.
Yeah.
And touches
They're
base.
exhausted.
Yeah, and they see that they're with someone else that gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the most important thing,
Okay.
that they're with someone else that gets it.
Okay. So Linda Burhans from Harmony Home Health, if you would like to know more about her support groups, you can go to our website, thecaregiverhour.com, and link to harmonyhh.com, or you can go to their website directly. Either one will work for us. So we appreciate you to listening in and being part of the show today. So Dr. Kelly, we want to kind of talk a little more in depth about men's care and well-being. Can you guide us on that a bit?
Absolutely. There's a lot of bad press coming out recently about the use of synthetic testosterone. Everybody's been reading that in the news and I predicted that on my website months ago. Increased risk for cardiovascular risk, stroke, also prostate cancer. So there's a difference, guys. Don't use a synthetic testosterone. Use a bioidentical testosterone. And my philosophy is we use small amounts of testosterone along with, if you've got low testosterone, you also have low DHEA, low pregnenolone.
Mm-hmm.
These two are very important to help prevent Alzheimer's, dementia, both in men and women. As your testosterone decreases, so does your DHEA, which increases your body and visceral fat. And again, bringing these levels back to a little more youthful will decrease your cardiovascular risk and decrease your prostate cancer risk. So one of the things that we have to do with men is we have to deal with something called aromatization. So there's actually supplements out there.
Okay.
For that. Cruciferous vegetables are helpful in that because they help get rid of the negative byproducts of estrone, which is the same reason that women have problems with that. But anyway,
let's go back to what vegetables did you mention?
Cruciferous. So that would be broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and kale.
Okay. All of those can be found either in your backyard if you're growing them organically, or they can be found at any grocery store, whether it's Whole Foods, Fresh Market, or even Publix in our area. But these are ones that you want to pick up and add to your diet. So, Dr. Miller, let's also talk about your website. If anyone is interested and you're watching the show, you can go right to Dr. Miller's website, either through thecaregiverhour.com. He's listed right there on Kim's why am I forgetting the name of that page? Kim's preferred list. Thank you so much. But also you can get to Dr. Miller's, and I'm looking at his website right now, www.drkellymiller.com. So again, it's drkellymiller.com. And it has a wealth of information. Tell us a little more about your website and what you offer.
Right. Well, I add content this every week. So we were just talking about bioidentical hormone. Under the two large sections when you go to the homepage is called How We Help and What We Help.
Yes.
And so under What We Help, I have discussion about andropause.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Menopause. I have low adrenal function, which is something that happens when we're under stress for too long and our adrenal glands aren't working. Very common. Low thyroid function, and then How We Help, I talk about the different things. So this discuss the testing that we do, like the saliva hormone testing, the genetic testing.
That I'm going to be doing this week.
That we
I
did
promised
with you.
Yes.
And I have a very in-depth discussion about bioidentical hormone and how you test for that and how it's administered.
So if anyone is interested, I suggest that you make an appointment and have a conversation with Dr. Kelly Miller. Again, his website is www.drkelly.com. And we would love for you to also know that he is giving a special offer to all of our Caregiver Hour listeners. Normally, your consult is what?
$105. So we're going to do a special for $10.
Okay,
this week.
that's wonderful. And some of our caregivers have already done that, some of our listeners and viewers. So, and I've done it myself. So I encourage you to do that. So set up an appointment. So again, you can go right to his website, www.drkelly, K-E-L-L-Y, Miller.com, or you could do it right through the caregiverhour.com. We have, just a fantastic shows coming up that continue to really bring information, but really quality information to our listeners and our viewers, and now even our attendees for our radio shows that are on the road. And we've got a few more that we're planning to come up this fall, so you want to stay tuned for that. But we've got a great sponsor, and that's the Palms of Largo. They're having an event called Mini Conference on Aging, and all of this information about when it is and where it is on our website. It's on our calendar, but it's on Wednesday, June 11th from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. So again, it's a mini conference on aging. Learn helpful information and tips for your future. Wednesday, June 11th from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. How to avoid neglect and exploitation. Getting your estate in order. Holistic approach to senior well-being. These are some of the topics. If you would like to RSVP, you can at 813-416-1365, and this is at Regal Palms, and I encourage you to go there. It's a beautiful community, and you will also want to go and get a tour. I've been there many times, and again, really bringing you quality communities right in front of you for you to look at and consider if this is time for placement for your loved one and yourself. You want to look there because they have independent, assisted, and memory care and rehab. I am just thrilled with today's show. I just think it was wonderful that Linda Burhans was able to bring us a male caregiver. Thank you so much, Buzz. And always wonderful having Dr. Miller here to help get us on the road to well-being and optimal health. And if you are a caregiver, and again, if you're in that stressful mode or you're just overwhelmed and you don't know where to turn, or you just found out you're going to be a caregiver, you want to call our helpline at 1-877-552-4950, and I'm your caregiver coach, and I'll be happy to help you. Stay tuned to us every week. We're now on Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m. I'll be back on Monday with more wonderful programming for you. I'm Kim Linder, your host of the Caregiver Hour. Tune in every Monday from 11 a.m. till noon on 1250 WINS, WHNZ, and have a beautiful week and do something kind to yourself.
The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the preceding